There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks, welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonko table. That is the voice of Grandmaster Hoop coming at you from the seat of the time chair. It's the almighty time chair, because that is right, folks. We are talking the new hit Marvel film, Kang the Conqueror, aka better known as Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Yes, folks, that's right. We're tackling the third entry into the Ant-Man franchise. And overall, goodness gracious, I've done lost count. Dare I say, I think this might be film 27 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And if I nailed it with the number 27, I'm going to be very proud of myself. But we are here to discuss. This film just dropped. Oh, God, it's the 31st film. I was way off. But we are here to discuss the introduction into Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And dare I say, I'm sure we got a lot to say about this. But with me, as always, is Dr. Jace Attorney, fellow Yonko. Dr. Jace Attorney, are you Marvel fatigued, or has Ant-Man reignited your fire for the MCU?
You see, that's the problem. A specific character in the movie has reignited my excitement for the MCU, and we'll talk about him. I mean, we know who it is. I mean, we talked about it very briefly coming out of the movie theater. I think we have very different opinions on the movie itself. The movie itself as just a film, an Ant-Man movie at that. I will say this is the first time for the future of the MCU I have been excited since my God, it's probably since Phase 3, if I want to be quite honest. Since I've been like, I finished watching a Marvel movie and I'm like, ooh, what are they gonna do next? This one was it, the start of Phase 5. This is a good I guess tone setter for who to look out for in the future.
Future. Time is essential, Scott. Let me stop. But I think you are correct as far as there's a lot to look out for, a lot of setup here, a lot of fun. I'm sure we will discuss what we disagree about. But yes, we're here. Phase 5 is here. Goodness gracious, it's been about good amount of years, and we're ready to talk this introduction into Phase 5. But we are not alone. There are some supernovas here tonight. Let's hear who's joining us tonight. All right, let's get into it. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Let's just go ahead and start with overall thoughts as far as what did we think walking out of this movie. We'll get into the plot and the themes and kind of the bigger picture later in the pod, but let's just start out with how we felt. Let's draw the lines. I, for one, really enjoyed this film. I think at the heart of it all, there's a lot of family aspects to this film. Was there setup for the bigger picture? Yes, a lot of great setup, I would say. But also, too, this is an Ant-Man film, and I really felt this one did not deviate from the formula. And I really thought it was going to.
By formula, do you mean Marvel formula or
No.
Ant-Man
I'm
formula?
talking the Ant-Man formula. From what we've seen in the past Ant-Man films, I feel this one fits right in with an extra layer, because this one, unlike the other Ant-Man films, served a lot of setup. But this is what I feel. This film, I think, is where you do set up right. I think this film set up a lot of the overarching stories in the Marvel Cinematic Universe correctly. And I just really enjoyed this time out with Ant-Man and crew. Was it perfect? No, I would not say it was perfect. There are things that I think did not work, but overall, I very much enjoyed this ride with the crew.
So I'd have to agree to disagree on some of this because I don't think it fit the Ant-Man formula. I think it was very different from the first Ant-Man and the second Ant-Man, and it's not as lighthearted, and like it didn't really cut the tension with like some great characters like Luis that was going to like kind of go through and do like a, what is it called, like a recap of like whatever happened throughout the day. I think it
That's
was
right. He does that.
yeah.
Forgot
So like I
about
think this one was like a little bit more on the serious side, and I got Strange World vibes from this. And if you haven't seen Strange World on
that.
Disney
Oh,
Plus,
yeah.
go check it out.
Mhm.
But it was very Wizard of Oz type, and I didn't get too much Ant-Man into this one. Because Ant-Man has a tendency to be a little bit more on the lighthearted. It was a lighthearted franchise up until this one, and I do have to say I'm actually really excited to see where Phase 5 is going to go with this. I know this is now we're starting to build up, and so it's just a taste of the build up, but we'll see how the other two movies that are coming out this year, which are Guardians and the Marvels.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Just 3. Okay.
Just 3.
We'll
I'm
see how
okay
those
with that.
movies
I'm
lead up
okay
to
with
it.
that. Yeah, I wasn't even coming out of there comparing it to like, does this fit with the Ant-Man formula or does it fit with the other two? I guess I just wanted like a universally good movie in terms of like, wow, I loved it from beginning to end. Overall, I mean, it's not a bad film. I feel like there are worse MCU films in the franchise. One in particular that's probably worse than this. But it's fine. It's fine. If you just go in and have fun, you'll have a great time watching it. But I feel like for me watching this movie, the selling point was Jonathan Majors. I mean, he's literally on the marketing for a lot of the trailers for this movie. It's no secret. This is our boy, King the Conqueror. He's here, and he's the big bad. And let me tell you, this man is intimidating as all hell. I loved his performance. That to me was the movie. Not to say there were not other great elements in it, but just man, I wouldn't say it's as bad as the way, certain critics are painting it out to be. I know before going in, we were seeing those Rotten Tomatoes scores like as low as like 52, 50 something.
The
It's probably
critics were
lower.
harsh.
It's probably really lower than that. Since I last checked, I have no idea. But yeah, really harsh. But at the same time, I don't think it's as high as like the 8s or 9s. It has problems. But we'll get into it. But overall, it's an okay film at best, with the best parts being Jonathan Majors. I feel like for this movie.
I would agree. I think this percentage rating that has been plummeting. I was trying to find it. I know it's in the 50s. I think the last time I saw it was a 55. This does not deserve a 55. I definitely agree with you when you say there are worse entries. Jesus, it's at a 48 right now.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
at 48. Yeah,
It is at a 40, a whopping
Look at
48.
that.
I think that's
this is
wrong.
1% higher than Eternals.
I think this is wrong. I think there's a lot of things that are good in this movie. Jonathan Majors definitely, I think, is the clear standout. And to Darcy's point, yes, does it lose some of the Ant-Man gimmicks from the previous films? Yes. I don't think those gimmicks, however, make an Ant-Man film an Ant-Man film. I still felt this film was very lighthearted, and it definitely went lighthearted at a lot of the more serious moments. And it definitely didn't take it as far as it could have, as far as the tone. But I do think there was a balance. I do think there was a balance throughout the film, and I didn't feel at any point that they were losing the essence of an Ant-Man film. Did we lose some characters like Louise and his crew? Yes, but something had to bite to include this whomping performance from Jonathan Majors. You gotta lose some to gain some, and some things got cut. And this is also his movie. It's very much his movie. I think he was great. I think he was really good. It felt very Shakespearean, his performance. But this is like we'll get into the plot in a bit, but this is Paul Rudd's I don't even know what time this is for him out being Ant-Man.
It's up there.
I still enjoyed him too. I still very much felt this was his movie. However, I do feel he was sharing a lot of the spotlight. And at times, dare I say, I don't even know why this movie's called The Ant-Man and the Wasp. I feel Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp probably gets like no kind of character arc or agency. I don't know why it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp. That part bugs me.
She stops him at the end.
That part bugs me.
Oh, wow.
Yes. What were you saying, Dr. Jace?
Oh, no, I was saying she saves the day at the end.
They had to give her something to do.
They gave her something. But
funny. I guess, the other big kind of growing, they grow.
God.
Oh, wow.
The other big inclusion as far as the cast goes is Catherine Newton now starring as Cassie Lang.
Right.
How'd you feel about Cassie here? I know we were leaving the theater kind of indifferent about her. What were y'all feeling?
It's funny. Up until the release of the movie, unless you told me that this was a different actress from the one we saw in Endgame, I wouldn't be able to tell you.
You're bad.
Because we saw her for like 2 minutes in Endgame.
Less than that. 30
seconds. So it's like, if you were to tell me, yeah, she was there in Endgame, I would have believed you. So it doesn't really bother me that they changed her. I mean, it's bothersome, I guess, for people that really remember Cassie. I know there's all two of you out there that were like Cassie stans in Endgame and Ant-Man 1. But yeah, I was just indifferent to it. Like, oh, okay, that's the girl from that Freaky Friday horror movie.
Freaky.
Oh yeah,
that's
literally called Freaky.
Look at that. Perfect.
Look at that.
Perfect. Yeah, I only know her from that. So I was like, oh, okay, it's that girl. I mean, I like that movie. So nice.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it was a good add-on to have a little bit more of a reputable person play Cassie Lang, because then obviously we're leading up to like Young Avengers. And I do appreciate her in it. I just think that the writer for this was like, let me start looking up what Gen Z does. Oh, I found this Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner, and like I feel like it was very much Gen Z focused on her writing. I don't think it was her performance. I think it was just mainly like how she was written in this one.
I didn't like how she was, like her dialogue. I didn't like a lot of her dialogue in the film. Her performance was fine. I have nothing against her. I actually do want to see her again, just not with what was written here.
Right.
Take a shot every time she screams "Dad," you're gonna die. You'll be done.
It's weird because she's not like a 13-year-old or something. Like I'm pretty sure she's like 18 in this one. 18, about 18, right?
I think so. Like
she loses 5 years, and then they pop out of the blip in 2020. No, I don't think she's too old.
She doesn't lose. She was alive.
No, I'm saying she grew up 5 years.
Oh, he says she lost 5 years.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, she had grown up. But by the time you come out of the blip, the year is 2023. So whatever she was in Ant-Man and the Wasp just added 5 years, and that's her age.
Either way, I feel like they kind of made her a little bit on the naive side, the younger side, and I think it was interesting to see her be written like that when she's over here like stopping, police protesters and then also like stopping like doing all these things and then like it's like where's my dad? Like I don't know. I see what you were saying, but I think overall she was a great addition to the team. She's a good actress. I just want to see more of her character being like written out a little bit more thought out. I feel like even like the Wasp's character, I don't think that like she was written out all that well either.
She didn't really have anything.
Didn't have too much from her, and
She
whatever
hasn't
she
had
did get-
anything since probably the first Ant-Man film. It's kind of weird. Kind of
Yeah.
weird how they're going about that.
And in this one, like all I got from her was, "Mom, how come you're keeping secrets from me?" And like that was it. That's that.
Yep.
I can't think of any other quotable or any other dialogue that she's had other than, "We've asked you what happens down here," and that's it.
Nope. That was it. That was
Also,
it.
Yeah.
gotta do a shout out to Michelle Pfeiffer because this is the first time that we see her in this dynamic with like the cast.
I would say Michelle Pfeiffer was given plenty to do, more than her brief inclusion in the first one. And I do like what she had to do.
Second one.
Was it a little too much as far as where they I mean, and we'll talk about when we talk about the plot, but there are points where I was just like, please move the plot along and
That
stop.
entire first act does not happen if she just comes out from the beginning and says, "There's this evil dude in the quantum realm. Let's avoid him." Done. Done.
Right. A very simple fix.
Unnecessary. I
don't
hate it
think
when
that's a
stories do
fix.
that.
Well, listen,
It's-
listen.
No.
Stop.
There's a reason.
Listen.
Look here. Look. Listen.
It was a little drag, but to the Catherine Newton point, it was it's very much the John Cheadle effect. You got to get used to it. She's a fresh, known face, and you got to give her more time to come into the role, because now we gotta look past the Catherine Newton and we got to see the Cassie. So it was a good start out. We'll see what she does more. Michael Douglas too is here. I think he's having fun still. Again, I feel a lot of characters were just kind of here because they had to be here, versus did they actually move the plot along? Not necessarily. But here we keep talking about the plot. We keep talking about there are things that work and things that didn't. Let's get into it. Let's not spend too much time, but time.
That's gonna be you for weeks, months. You know what? Months. Go ahead. Yeah.
Time is of the essence, Scott. You must look past it. It's essential.
You
Okay.
keep saying this line as if it's a quote from the movie, and he's literally never said this.
I do the same exact thing, and it's a travesty.
Okay, this is better. I'm literally making like time based quotes. It sounds like he could say that. Either way, let's get into it. Let's get into
Time's
it. So
up, Scott.
that works too. That works too. So let's get into it. So Scott, he is coming off the high of Endgame. He saved the world. Very much in a comfortable, complacent position, signing books, autographs, all that jazz. Meanwhile, life moves on for everybody. As Darce pointed out, Cassie is out here trying to be an activist because she knows as an Avenger, you got to keep trying to find people to help. That's the job. That's the gig. She wants her dad to continue helping people. Hope's got her own company. Well, I guess she's taking the PIM company and
Essentially, yeah.
taking it into new heights. Janet is just living life because she's been in the quantum realm 30 years. And Hank Pym's living life with his wife because, again, she's been gone for 30 years. And that's where our heroes are at. That's where they're at. And then here's where I would call this convoluted but kind of contrived, whatever you want to call it. It's a negative. Cassie is a genius, and she has made a portal, essentially a portal into the quantum realm. She's that smart. I never knew. I
never.
She didn't need the help of Hank and Hope.
She did it really on her own, though. They were like there,
It felt
But,
very
like,
solo.
they were giving her a lot of credit, and I was like, sure, I guess.
I
You
have
spent
to
time-
accept this because if I don't, we don't have the movie. So fine. Cassie can make a portal into the quantum realm.
And I get
Fine.
it. She's young. She's young. These visionaries see a young mind, and they're like, let's keep her on the right track. Let's let her see these ideas through. But again, this wouldn't have been a problem had Janet just said, why are y'all messing with the quantum realm? You shouldn't. There's a man down there.
Easy.
It really was. It really was.
She doesn't have to get into specifics either. If it's that if Kang was that traumatizing for general details, there's a man down there. Let's avoid him. Done.
Oh, let's not create any kind of way for him to get out.
Right.
She does exactly that. She creates a way for him to get out.
Whoa.
And not only he doesn't get out, but they get sucked in. They're sucked into the quantum realm because it's a two-way street. It's a signal, and boom, we're in the quantum realm. How'd y'all think of the quantum realm? I know we were very much like, well, before, I mean, we were kind of like Hank. Hank was like, I didn't know this was down here before. Are you good with the idea that there's just a whole universe of people, creatures, society? Are you good with this concept?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine because if it's a stretch to believe that there's another dimension on top of ours, on top of a multiverse, on top of there's a whole other universe within our own. Sure, let's believe it. Because I think they go so small that they're not even on Earth. I think that they're just in a different dimension at this point.
Yeah, that's kind of how I took it. I really took it really at face value. It's another universe. It's just so tiny you wouldn't know it exists.
And it doesn't even exist within the parameters of time.
It doesn't. Time doesn't move here
Right.
at all, I don't think. Or it does, or it moves real slow.
Which is why they were able to use that to go back in time during Endgame.
Correct. I guess there are still loose rules to the quantum realm that I'm okay with.
Right.
Dr. Jace, I know you feel some type of way. I know you were in the theater.
Well, with the quantum realm, I'm assuming all the times that we've seen it through Scott or Michelle Pfeiffer or just anyone that went into it. I'm guessing the times they went into it, they were just outside of where civilization was. Like, civilization is in a circle in the quantum realm, and they were just appearing outside of that circle.
They were like in the
time.
wilderness. I guess.
I guess. I don't know. You don't have the movie unless you do this, so I just have to accept it. But it's, I don't know. I do feel some type of way of we're always led to believe that Hope was always alone in this world I'm sorry, not Hope. The mom, Janet. For like 30 plus years, and not once did she come across any other people, and I mean that civilization, whatever. But
wait, no, she came across them later on.
No. He's saying in the 2018 film, she never says there's another society, another universe.
She's trying to
We're just left to believe she's alone. There's no other faction of people down there at all.
Oh, like saying like us as the audience, we wouldn't be able to believe that she's been there alone for 30 years?
We are left to believe that because that is what they gave us.
It to right. It's in a way, it's kind of like a soft retcon.
It's a retcon.
It's a retcon. Yeah.
It's definitely
honestly,
a retcon.
we had no idea what was going on in the quantum realm. Like from what we did know, it was like Scott just like floating in the abyss of nothing. Like who knows what she could have been in there. And even in Ant-Man and the Wasp, they made it like kind of like an astral realm where it's just like floating space, and we had no idea what like the quantum realm really was. And this is a cool way to bring it in. I don't have any questions about it.
No. It's the simple fact of the matter is it's a retcon because she never brings it up as far as, oh my gosh, there's a whole world down there, Hank. There's people, there's society. We were right.
That's part of the whole thing, is that she didn't want to tell Hank because he's going to go and start exploring down
There's
there.
an explanation for it, but it's still a retcon in the sense of like I can guarantee they had no plans from as far back as Ant-Man 1 to say there's a civilization down here.
Nor that was where they wanted to put Kang. Yeah.
Right. It's only until you get into like, you know, around phase 4, 5, whatever, that's where they're like, oh, you know what we should do? Kang, let's introduce him this way. And then it fits because it's like, oh, the quantum realm, it's so big, it's so crazy, there's no rules to it to a certain degree, so it's accepting, but we're gonna add to it. We're gonna say there is a civilization down here, even though we never said there wasn't one from before. I mean, it's fine. It's nothing like major where it takes me out, but it's a question.
Jonathan.
I mean, oh wow, clever. But yeah, it's fine. It did elicit a lot of Strange World vibes when they started seeing like all like the different trees. And
it was giving hella Strange World, yeah.
So that was cool. I thought that was kind of neat the way everything looked. But you don't stay out there too long in that wilderness part.
Which I'm glad. It's like I was digging the vibe. I was like, okay, we're on a CGI fest, sure. I don't want them to just be dropping explanations and what's the word? What's the other word where they just drop in information?
Exposition.
I didn't want exposition the whole time. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take it. These are these creatures, these are these people, sure. The group gets split up. Cassie and Scott having some father-daughter time that they didn't have during the time of the blip. Hope having mother-daughter time with their parents. But, you know, two different vibes going on here. Scott and Cassie trying to find the rest of them so they can get out. Janet having the worst time of her life because she hates the fact that she's back here because she is hiding some secrets. We get to see them interact with a lot of the people going on. Scott and Cassie run into a would-be rebellion of people. We see William Jackson Harper. Y'all know him from The Good Place.
Yep.
Who did he play?
He's the telepath.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he looked familiar. I just didn't know where he was from. I know I've seen him before.
Yep.
And something else, but yeah, he was funny.
So,
I
saw
liked him.
someone on Twitter thought he was going to be Reed Richards, which I thought was interesting. And I thought it was a spoiler too. I don't know. They were just like, what is he doing here? He's like a well-known actor.
I get. Bill Murray's a well-known actor too.
Bill Murray is a well-known actor.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Is that like a universal, like, people really thought, like, someone said that's, or is that
No,
Ray?
it was just our group chat.
That was our group chat.
That was Ray, right?
That was Ray. Ray thought, oh my God, Tom Hanks is in Quantumania.
Which I gotta say, the inclusion of Bill Murray, poo-poo. Like, it was just to call in a name and get people come in there.
Absolutely. I don't know what Bill Murray was doing here. There are points. So Scott and Cassie in the group they meet, they're establishing, you know, some good stuff as far as there's a group of people, they're being oppressed. Granted, we don't see that much oppression, but they're trying to fight back against this dictator. Janet's group, we meet Bill Murray, and you're trying to, again, they're not really giving you anything.
No.
The most we got is that they had sex with each other.
Wild times. Crazy.
I had needs, Henry. I had needs.
Really, same.
And I'm like, okay, man. Bill Murray's here, but like, he was here and then he was gone.
Right. Like, that whole journey to go find Bill Murray could have been totally avoided.
Oh, absolutely.
See where she was going.
It just, again, there was a lot of prolonging of Kang. They were doing a lot of
hype of him too.
They were literally hyping him up. It was like, oh, y'all gotta wait.
He's a conqueror.
He's a conqueror, so you gotta take your time. Be patient. Time is patient for nobody. Time, Scott. And the movie did a lot of that.
Oh.
We all knew he was coming. And I do feel we did spend amount
Oh,
Uh-oh.
wait, hold
A
on.
lot of
Hold
this
on there, buddy.
kind of he's a bad
Hold
dude.
on. Wait. You're cutting off. Go ahead again.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. Last like
All right.
5 to 10 seconds.
There's a lot of prolonging of Kang that just doesn't work for me. Specifically on the Janet side, I was very frustrated. I was like, please, for the love of God, tell them what's going on.
No.
I mean, I get it. Like, she unleashed this monster and she feels kind of responsible for it. And that's why she dedicated the 20 plus years of her life to like stop him. But just tell us who it is. Tell us what's going on. Like, why did we have to wait till halfway through the movie?
It's just a contrived way to build unnecessary tension. Like, I get the tension. You want to make it mysterious so that it builds up to who is she talking about? Who's down here? Who's she
We
hiding?
already know.
But
see
it's
the
like, just
trailers.
say it. Oh, God.
Right? Oh my God!
See,
And that
there's
was
no
a-
reason for her not to, like, there's a moment where Janet says, I'm sorry, not Janet, Hope's like, Mom, what's going on? And she's like, I don't have time to explain. What do you mean? Just say,
Yeah,
you're
no,
right.
that's
You're
the time.
piloting a ship while you're flying to probably this person's like base of operations. Tell them on the way.
Let them know what they're about to face. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
It was somewhat of an annoyance. But eventually we finally get past it. But Scott and crew again, they meet this rebellion, and I guess, Kang is all knowing, so he knows all these people are here. He sends out his goons. There's also Jentora, who's the leader. She was the girl with the staff, played by Katie O'Brien, and
Okay.
they face off against a League of Kang soldiers led by. Oh gosh, let me see if I got this right. Help me out if you know it.
The
God.
Kang soldiers?
No. Come on.
Wait, what did you say?
No. I'm trying to think of the acronym. Come on. We know the acronym.
MODOK.
Oh,
Mechanized organism designed only for killing. MODOK is here.
were you
MODOK.
spoiled by this?
I mean, okay, so this is what I knew. One, we knew MODOK was in the film. He was like, I think in the second trailer.
God, I hate that they did that. Can you imagine being surprised
well,
that this was MODOK without this being in the trailer?
Well, I'm okay with them revealing MODOK early on because I like MODOK as a villain. He's just a Marvel staple, and I like that he's here. What I was spoiled on is the fact this is not just MODOK. This is freaking Darren from the first Ant-Man movie. It's Yellow Jacket.
Right.
And I like this, blending of characters. I like when Marvel does this and it actually makes sense. That was spoiled for me. I saw that on Twitter. Someone like
It was like
I
a
don't
leaked
know.
image. Like,
Yeah, there
you
was a
saw him
leaked
in
image.
the corner with other
well,
characters.
you saw the head. You saw the
Right,
head without
right.
the armor on.
I had no idea that was Darren. I thought it was just some CGI looking Spy Kids 3D type person.
Okay.
I didn't know it was Darren.
I think the CGI was purposefully comically bad for MODOK.
You thought it was
Uh,
purposely bad?
I felt
agree.
it was purposefully. It felt
It-
purposeful. It was
it was.
funny to look at. He's a big head.
Oh, you mean like the way, not necessarily the CG was bad, but just like his the way he was designed,
His
right? Like
right.
his lips, his like everything central on his face just looked disgusting.
Right.
Every time he showed his face, everyone was like basically shitting themselves in the theater.
And also, and again, when I talk about the essence of an Ant-Man film, MODOK is taken very seriously in the comics and other iterations.
Correct.
He's not taken seriously here, and I'm okay with that. We lose Louise, but we get MODOK. I'm okay with it. I never did not laugh at MODOK.
To be honest with you, MODOK was that extra comedy push in there because of how ridiculous he looked.
Sure, absolutely. Yep. Definitely.
He's supposed to be this destroyer being, like that was created just to like destroy everything, and I didn't really see him like be all that menacing because I was taken away by how ugly he was. I think
Absolutely.
he fit into that. What is it that we call it when the formula for Marvel? I think like
The added comedy.
he's the same thing as the screaming goats in Thor.
Sure.
I think it brings the same exact level of comedy. Like, it's funny, it's cool, but okay.
I think he was better than the Screaming Goats. And also, I don't think this
love the screaming goats.
MODOK had more screen time than the Screaming
He
Goats.
did.
But
He had a lot of screen time, but it's because he's a big character, you know.
True.
Like
Right.
he's the second-hand villain in this story.
the amount of
got-
animated movies that have put MODOK out there. Like,
No, he's a staple.
He's a major villain. Yeah.
Yeah. I think just it is what you say though. It's that added comedic element that unfortunately it's like when you add it to a villain, it loses the menacingness of the villain. And it could have been really fun to see him go back and forth between menace and comedic relief. We
But
mostly only got comedic relief.
you know what I appreciate, speaking of formula, Grandmaster. The Grandmaster was hilarious, but also a bit menacing. When Jeff Goldblum was out there, I thought that it was pretty
The who?
funny.
Jeff Goldblum and
in
Thor
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok.
Okay.
He was menacing because he had the staff, but then he was also like hilarious. I also think Bill Murray, he fit into that formula of Grandmaster, where it's like, here's a big name actor that's playing a role. We're gonna introduce him for a little bit and then go. Jeff Goldblum was a lot better than Bill Murray on this one, but still, like, I think they're trying to find a formula of, all right, here's our movie. Let's try to put a big Hollywood name in there. Let's try to put in that comedy element. Let's try to, and it's not working as well as it used to work.
I would not call the Grandmaster menacing.
I
did not get menace from him.
I think with MODOK, the problem with him is that he is seen as a major villain in like the source material. Like sometimes he's even like the final boss in like some Marvel games. Like he's up there with like Doctor Doom and like some of these like end game villains that orchestrate other smaller villains.
He's the original leader of AIM.
You're right.
Yeah,
He is
right.
associated with that. Right. So it's like I didn't get any of that from this MODOK. And I mean, I'm not against it because like it was funny to like see him there, but it's like, oh man, so that means we're probably not gonna get like a MODOK type of villain that's gonna be like orchestrating events from like the sidelines or something. Well,
Kind of a
one,
waste.
because it's not his character, and two, he dies at the end. It was supposedly.
So supposedly.
Right.
It was a waste. And they do that a couple of times with
Right.
bigger Marvel villains or bigger Marvel heroes. They're just kind of wasted for this one screen appearance. And it kind of stinks because, you know, there's a lot you can do when you keep these villains around.
Stop
There's
killing
a lot
them.
you can do. Right. And I really hope he's not dead. I really hope they bring him back.
His heart rate monitor flatlined. It went
I was
red.
watching it the whole time, and I
Same
thought the post credit.
here.
I thought the post credit scene would revive him.
Oh,
but
it would
no.
be like a beep. Oh, beep, he's alive. Oh,
Then he's
no.
like, "I'm back," or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's the
that
thing,
would have been funny. That would have been
he
funny.
already like changed his character to being a good guy, you know, like, so it's not even
Oh
like
my god,
MODOK was-
yeah.
He did not
bad.
need that. He
He
did
didn't-
not need this
okay.
redeemability.
Did you?
No.
Okay, he didn't need that, but did you still like how at the end he's trying to fit in? Like, I always saw you as a brother, Scott.
Oh yeah, again, I thought he was hilarious. I thought he was
I die an
hilarious.
Avenger.
I loved it. I
that
loved it
was
the whole time.
hilarious.
I thought it was great. It sucks at the expense of a really good
Right.
joke.
It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. You get a really, really funny joke, but it's at the expense of, well, damn it. We're not gonna get evil, maniacal MODOK because of this joke. I laughed. Mission accomplished. I don't know if I wanted the trade-off though for what we could have gotten.
Yeah.
But
So he comes on the scene. We have a brief skirmish. Again, I like this aspect with Scott and Cassie spending time together. Cassie reveals she has a suit. Go figure. And you know she's not really skilled at it yet. Tap and punch, Cassie. I like the kind of father daughter.
I like that too.
teaching.
that was nice.
I
Yeah.
thought that was fun. I think you know, yes, Darcy, you mentioned it. Young Avengers probably will be a thing. It really will probably be a thing. However, we have yet to see a lot of kind of this. We've seen the passing of the torch. We have yet to see this is how you do it. This is what you need to do. We get a brief tease of that in Thor Love and Thunder with the very end, you know. But we don't get this kind of this is a better connection. We spent more time with Scott and Cassie in the previous films. So I thought it was a cool aspect here. Him teaching her the ropes, you know. He was once the new guy with the Ant-Man suit, and now he's over here teaching her. And I thought that worked. That worked for me. Does that work for y'all? That vibe?
Yeah, their relationship is nice. I like it in the movie. I felt like there were a lot of moments, especially in the very beginning, where I felt like they kind of nerfed Ant-Man a little bit. Like he wouldn't fight back against people forcing a liquid down his throat, and I'm like, just turn small. Why are we doing this? But again, it's to progress the plot to reveal, oh, they're the good guys. They're not really, you know, they're trying to kill you. But it's like Scott thought he was gonna die. I don't know. It's just it pulls me out. It pulls me out with like little things like that.
I mean, part of me thinks. Oh, go ahead, Darce.
I was gonna say you also have to look because like I paid attention to that too. I'm like, why isn't he just turning small? They held his hands open so that he couldn't hit the buttons like in his palm to go small. So they held him out like in a T.
Like a Jesus.
And then even Cassie was just like, drink the goop, like just do it.
Oh, interesting thing. Drink that stuff. You learn their language. Sure. I'll take
How
it.
convenient.
Whatever.
It's fine.
Why
was
could
like
the galaxy that we know and knows English? Why can't this interdimensional quantum realm know English too? Make it simple. Why?
they literally said, let's give rhyme to reason real quick. You drink this goop, you can understand everybody.
Ridiculous.
Also,
I
that
guess.
character, that little gloop thing, I kind of loved it. I thought he was so funny and just like I want to have holes.
So speaking of the gloop, that is David Dalmatian. I think I said his last name right. He played one of Scott's crew members in the original films. The Russian one.
Oh wow, that's him.
That is him, aka Polka Dot Man from
Polka Dot Man.
Suicide Squad.
Oh, that's right.
Wow.
Yes.
So he's the only one from the crew, right?
He's the only one from the crew that makes. I mean, it's not the same role, but he's here.
Right.
Isn't he also different universe? But like, isn't he also in Dark Knight?
Oh, he's the schizophrenic.
Yeah, he's the one that gets captured.
I don't know anything. Yes. His name is
Look at the
Sheds.
connection.
He's a schizophrenic. What are you gonna get out of him? Yes, that is him. That is him.
Wow.
Anyway, back to Marvel.
Yeah, just throwing that out there.
That was fun.
So yes, this skirmish now leads us on both fronts. We're now getting introduced to the big bad. Cassie and Scott are taken prisoner, and Janet is ready to tell all. In a very kind of, this was a little long of a sequence. This backstory with Janet and Kang. He is exiled there by, we don't know, but I mean,
well, he said it.
I don't think he said it in the flashback, did he?
He did.
No.
He didn't say he was exiled. He just said, he didn't tell Janet he was exiled.
Right.
He said that he crash landed there.
Yeah, he crashed
Correct.
there.
He crash landed in the quantum realm.
But in the flashback, after she touched the thing and saw, he said, I was exiled. And she's like, by who? And he said, by me.
Oh, yes. That's when
right.
he reveals, right. He was exiled by me. What could that mean?
Oh man, he Jonathan Majors, listen, he was the best part of this movie.
He was delivering.
He was delivering. Like every time this man opened his mouth, I was just thinking like I saw terror in his eyes. I saw remorse. I'm like, what is he gonna say? What is he gonna say to Janet?
There's also this like eagerness to like, I want to get out and get back to what I was doing.
And I
before.
want to help you. Don't you want me to keep my promise?
Right. It very much felt like you did help me. Let me get you out of here, but I'm still going to go do this very evil thing. But I won't hurt you.
I
in your
love
timeline.
this. I believe this to be the next big bad. I believe this to be the next Thanos. This was awesome. I
think he had a lot of riding on his shoulders, as you said, the next Thanos. But like, uncompared to Thanos, we don't get Thanos except for very brief moments until Infinity War. This man had to deliver right up front because they're like, hey, you're getting 40 to 50 minutes of screen time and you gotta sell it. We know we gave you 4 minutes in Loki, but you gotta sell it here because that dude was just a clown. You are the real thing. You got
wait. Who's a clown?
The variant he played in Loki.
Oh, okay, right. Okay,
he wasn't the clown. I think he was just tired of keeping time busy or keeping just one singular timeline. And this is actually something that we were trying to talk about when we got out of the movie theaters. Like, what's up with this like timeline? What is his mission? Where did he fall in this? And I think that there's just the one solid timeline that Loki's variant was trying to keep, that version of Kang. And then once he was gone, so this is now post Loki.
Now all the other ones are free.
The other ones are free, and now we have Kang the Conqueror that's trying to like stop these little branches and these timelines.
Wait, this Kang? I don't think he's trying to stop the timelines, right?
He's trying to stop the branches on the timeline. Which
he says there's all these incursions
and stuff,
because he says he's seen the end of time or what's at the end of time and he wants to avoid it, and it involves doing what he's doing,
destroying other timelines.
He's destroying other timelines, which I think lead up to his birth, and so he's trying to stop all these other Kangs basically from stopping him from doing what he's doing, like it's like
time travel's confusing.
But you see, I feel like they give you enough here. They give you enough here to where it's like, I'm not questioning it like that doesn't make sense or what does he mean by that? It's more like, okay, he's giving us snippets. We're clearly gonna see him for like the next 5-6 years of Marvel movies. So I like what they give here. It's just a little bit, but it's enough to make me think, wow, I can't wait for the next Marvel movie. I actually can't wait. I want to see his.
I can't wait till we see him again.
Right. Yeah.
And we'll get into the post-credit scene as far as the implications behind that.
But I can't see what movie he would be in next.
Let's pause on the movie because endless options are endless. So we also get the interrogation. Or whatever you want to call it, coercion with Scott, and another great scene. Him like, and again, these aren't powers. This is all futuristic tech. He's doing
that's his suit. That can
his gauntlet, his suit gives them all this ability. When Janet repaired the time chair ever so briefly, he was granted his suit again.
Okay.
And that was the last thing she granted him, having took the power source. So he can do all this just with his suit, and seems very well adept at it. Looked like he was squeezing their body.
Yeah, I wish they kind of like went the extra mile to show like how he's, I guess, torturing, like because you barely see it with Cassie. He's like, oh, I'm gonna flip you around. Ooh, oh, you're now at 90 degrees. The way I was getting it is kind of like how you maybe thought. Like I thought it was like maybe a little bit of blood bending in there, like maybe something.
Yeah, something like that.
Bending, you're like cracking your bones. I don't know.
I thought it was more of like magnetism, kind of like Magneto, just like moving, like squeezing the suit in and like really putting that pressure in there, because you saw that like the suit was like tightening up everywhere.
Right.
That's what it looked like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, please put it down. I think he did what he came to do. They wanted, like, you got to be intimidating out the door. Nailed it. You got to be the biggest voice in the room. MODOK tries to say something. He's like, do not talk.
Oh
But
my
I'm the
God, he
That was
opened
awesome,
his
yeah.
mouth and he told him to shut up. Oh man, that was good. That was
Yeah,
good.
nah, it was really good. And here we get kind of the next act of the film. Scott, I will free your daughter and let you go. Go get this thing for me. Go get my power source that Janet has enlarged, but it's actually tiny in this bigger version of it. Again, I take a lot of things at face value in this movie. I don't know what I don't know what was going on, but I was like, okay, Scott's got to shrink. He's not really stealing anything, but he's like, I heard you're good at stealing. I heard you're good at heist. I
Have
was like,
to tie
I guess
that heist element back in. He's a thief.
I mean, you didn't, but you could
They
have just
felt
said,
the need to.
they could have just said, you're good at retrieving things, and that could have just been it.
There was nothing to steal. There was no idea what was going on.
Yeah, no, this wasn't a theft. There was nobody here to take. Whatever.
Yeah.
Scott's got to go down, get the power source, and bring it back. Kang wants to use it to fuel his time chair, which now will fuel his giant ship to go ahead and start his conquest. Scott's doing this for Cassie. Meanwhile, Hank and Janet and crew are over here trying to catch them and prevent anything revolving Kang escaping. Scott goes down. We get a cool sequence, the possibilities. This to me felt very Ant-Man. It was comedic, and at the same time, it was unique. Don't think we'll see anything like this in any other Marvel film.
It was also really cool because he became a bunch of ants. They were working
Yes,
together.
yes,
as
he
a
did.
colony.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like, this is from Ants, the movie.
Yeah.
Like, be the ball. We gotta build a ladder. Come on, Dr. Jason.
We gotta build a giant ladder. What are you saying? We are the colony.
Go ahead, do it.
You useless, ungrateful maggot. I am the colony.
It was ants. They turned into ants. They turned into ants.
It was very
And I had a lot of fun with this sequence. The Baskin Robbins Scott showing up. They're like, who's the real one? I was like, Shadow Clone Jutsu. What the hell is going on? It was cool. And I do like how they all came together too after hearing Cassie's voice. And then, it's Ant-Man and the Wasp. Here comes Wasp to remind you that it's Ant-Man and the Wasp.
She's here to help too.
She didn't have nearly the toughest time figuring out this possibility thing.
Very easy.
Could have been cool to see a swarm in a colony of ants.
Oh.
Did you hear though at one point when she bumped into her possibility self, she's like, "Mom, what are you doing here?" I thought it was a fun little touch.
I did not hear that.
Yeah.
Wait,
'cause
what does that imply?
I guess she
So
sees herself as her mom, or
No. Her mom has the original Wasp suit, so she
True.
thought her mom put on the suit,
Oh,
joined her
okay.
into this thing,
That's
but it was
neat.
just her possibility of herself. And that's when you hear the mom in the telecom saying, like, "No, it's not me. Like, these are
it's
different
a
possibilities."
possibility.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Nice little touch.
It was a nice touch, yeah. But also I'm very confusion when like they went and they held hands and then they all absorbed each other, like all of their other
Yeah, like
possibilities
I guess
back into it.
they
Don't know how that happened, but sure.
they I guess reaffirmed themselves, and they're like, oh, I understand who I am, and
We are the possibility.
that no, oh my god. I mean, that explains it, but that's so dumb. But
I take it at face value. I'm just
we
like,
are
okay,
the colony.
sure. And then they
Ooh,
grab.
Oh, maybe that's what it was, because they had a colony of ants and wasps, and they had to realize we are the colony.
Oh boy.
So dumb.
Sure.
Whatever. A means to an end. They throw their little pin particle things, and it shrinks the core down.
It shrinks it, or does it like make it
It
shrinks?
Kind of
it,
like
right?
brings
You
it
need to enlarge
back
it.
together, right? Because it was large before.
No, they
it
had
was-
to. It's the opposite. They had to get the core bigger because Janet originally shrank it and then smashed it down, which made it explode. Who knows?
Oh, they got it.
They got
They
it.
got it. It was
They
big.
got
Now it's small. Now it can fit in your hand.
And They come back, and of course, Kang is ready to double cross. Of course, he's not letting go of Cassie. He don't give a fuck about these people. He's like, "Thank you, goodbye, you weaklings."
I don't even get it. Why did he do that?
I don't know.
What?
He didn't have to do
I'm
that.
evil. You weren't gonna do that to Janet. Why are you doing it to?
You gave your word, Kang.
Yeah. I just why was Scott? Scott was so angry in that final sequence.
Well,
Kang, you
He
gave
was-
your word.
he was very angry, very true. Now, okay,
I
so
just can't. I can't.
let me tell you, here's where the film for me starts picking. Peyton Reed, the director, I think, is picking moments from his favorite films and giving
Oh my
you
God.
a very generic conclusion.
You want to know what it reminds me? I'm sorry. You know what?
There's a couple of things that reminds me of it.
That
There's a couple
scene-
of things.
That scene when he's coming in, giant. Kang,
Yes.
I will chase you down to the ends of the earth.
Don't do that.
Oh
Don't
my
do
God!
that.
100%. I was listening to. I'm like, this sounds so familiar. Why is he so angry?
Shocker! Where are you, Shocker?
You can't escape me.
You know what it gave me? It gave me
Oh my God.
Shrek 2 Mondo vibes.
Oh, okay. Very much Mongo vibes.
Oh, Mongo, right?
Uh,
oh yeah. Gingy. That was
Oh,
Wasp.
and Wasp was on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Right.
All they
right.
needed was a song. They just needed
This
a song.
also was very much on your left with Hank. Huh? The ants. They're here. The ants
Yeah.
the whole time are telling Hank on your left. On your left. When Hank, so again, I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but okay, sure, whatever. Hank comes in with all those ants. This is freaking Gandalf with the Riders of Rohan at Helm's Deep. You know, on the third day, look to the east, look to the eastern sun, and then they all come pouring in. Very much Lord of the Rings. Cassie sparking the rebellion and rallying all the people. That's why I looked at you, Dr. Jason. I was like when she did after her little speech, and all the inhabitants of the quantum realm came to bust down the walls of Kang. Ayo, I heard you from Avatar.
Oh my God. Ew.
But you see, it's very much like I was like, yo, there's so many references to other films going on here. I was
I
like, y'all
guess,
gonna think of your own
yeah.
ending.
It was,
But it worked for me.
It was fine, yeah. Like I do get the Lord of the Rings vibes with the ants, because it was like it was even like the sunny. It was like sunny,
Yeah.
over the horizon from where they came. I'm like, oh, okay, I see the
Hank is-
homage.
Hank
That's
is
fine.
literally Gandalf. Actually, I love the ants, and I feel we didn't get a lot of ants in any of the Avengers films featuring Scott.
We literally had
nor we-
no ants in this movie until that moment.
Right until the very end.
But we knew they were coming when we
Did
saw when
Yeah.
the ant farm shrunk. I knew they were coming.
Oh yeah, we did see that early on. It's okay.
Also, no clue why the heck they were talking about how the ants all gathered together so intelligent that they created their own civilization within another civilization.
Oh,
And
I
they
get
were
it.
like,
I got you.
Go
ahead.
ahead.
They
Explain.
landed. They were intelligent already, right? Because they had been experimenting with them.
Right.
They landed in the quantum realm millions of years before Scott and crew landed in the quantum realm. So they had evolved and finally caught up with Scott and crew over all those years.
So it's a quantum realm within the quantum realm,
Well, you can land
or a
But
pocket
you-
dimension.
basically-
within the quantum realm.
basically it's like they landed in a point in time that preceded where Scott and crew landed in the point in
Okay.
time. And so
Right.
they had advanced all those years.
There's
listen,
no
we-
rules in the quantum. Just
there's,
accept it.
it's
Just
very up
accept
in the
it.
air. Sure, the rules are. Listen, there were no ants in Civil War. I like the ants. Okay, I like
Fine.
that when Ant-Man does shit with ants. Okay. You talk to ants, Scott.
Don't you think that there was like a missed opportunity for like a heartwarming story involving Scott and like how no one takes him seriously? like he's considered the joke, the butt of like of the Avengers. Like you line up all the Avengers, every single one, like Falcon, Winter Soldier, like all of them. You're gonna laugh at Scott because it's like, you're Ant-Man. You control ants. Like, I don't know. I feel like there was like a missed opportunity for Scott to feel kind of like no one takes him seriously in the superhero world. And they could, I don't know. I felt like there was an emotional core there that could have really rung home when Jonathan Majors is really just driving it into him and not taking him seriously.
Like, you are the well, he called him, you're out of your league.
He said you're out of your league. He was saying you control ants. He didn't even remember because he said, I'm Ant-Man. And he's like, I've killed many Avengers. Were you the one with the hammer? And it's like, oh God, I don't like, it doesn't need to be there, but I feel like it would have worked so well here. I don't know. I kind of wanted it now. I wanted it.
I think part of Scott's journey this whole time was, he was riding off the coattails of the title Avenger, riding off the coattails of, he figured out that it was the quantum realm that would get them out of this problem in Endgame. And yet he wasn't doing any of the Avengers work. And so when it came down to meeting with Kang, it was like time for him to step up as an Avenger and do your job, because there's always people you need to help, which is what Cassie was preaching the whole time. And that's when Kang should have been putting him in his place proper, being like, you suck at this. Like, those guys are the real heroes. What have you done?
I would have loved more of that.
I think that would have really hit it home too.
That's like the whole plot of the second one, isn't it? That nobody takes him seriously.
Honestly,
And
I
the
can't even
second one?
tell you the plot of the second one as far as
Yeah,
Scott's
like,
Just
personal
that chase
journey.
sequence. That's it.
We've done this before. I think it's fine. I think what it has, the plot for what they had for him is okay. The only thing is that the trailer was very deceiving, because they made it seem like he wanted more time with Cassie, like, because he's like, hey, I can promise you.
I think they
missed
omitted
out
that.
on
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of years that
No.
you've had with her, and they alluded to it with like, oh man, like I missed out on so many years, like so many birthdays. Like, it was like a subplot within this, but then like at some point it seemed like something was like taken out.
I can tell you right now, the way this film was like edited together, there were scenes taken out.
Oh
For
yeah.
sure. Like,
Well-
I mean, just this is just one example, but I every time it happened, I was like, that's a weird cut. The scene where Kang like captures
Kang
Janet.
and Janet walk away, and then the guards. I
then
know,
the
I saw you
guards-
freak out.
Yeah, the guards walk her in, and I'm like, Kang was just with her. Why are the guards walking her into the throne room? There are clear scenes where I'm like, I think there was another plot here, like another subplot or more scenes. And I feel like
Right.
we said this in even Love and Thunder, where it's like the movie is now 2 hours tops, but at what cost? I guess Kevin Feige's hearing like the criticism of like, oh, these movies are too long. They're getting close to 3 hours. So we got to cut it down. But I'm like,
I'm gonna say,
I don't know.
Love and Thunder was a terrible example of what to take out of the film. There were some moments in this film, but not as much as like Love.
No,
and Thunder.
yeah. I think Love and Thunder was probably the most egregious of doing something like
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
But I see it here too. I see it.
Well,
here.
now when I think about the line where he's like, "You could have more time with your daughter," he said that to Janet.
He did say it to Dave.
And the trailer would make you think he said it to Scott. So actually, I
Right.
guess there are some parallels between Scott and Janet, because they both had time in the quantum realm, and they both lost time. And
Yeah, and I think it it weighs a little bit heavier with Janet than it does with Scott, because Scott lost 5 years with his daughter, which is like, okay, but like Jaden lost 30 years with her daughter. Like,
Well,
that's 30 years that you won't be able to get back with.
not only that, but Scott's wasn't like 30 minutes at best.
Right.
His time in the
Right.
like Janet felt those 30 years. So
Yeah.
Janet very much was a central point in this film. Shoot, I don't even know how she was kicking ass at some point. I'm like, damn, Janet, aren't you supposed to be old? Michelle Pfeiffer acting like Catwoman over here.
Ooh.
So we get, kind of the climactic bit, yeah, the ants come in, overrun the place. They pretty much win. Everybody's about Janet's able to concoct a portal to send them back home.
Ooh, before we get past the fight scene though, with all of like the intruders and outliers and stuff, I want to do like a call out like that. The chief, she was pretty cool with the staff and like stopping people, and like the guy with the laser beam face. I did mention this over in the movie theater, and I'm bringing it back here. I got major Shang-Li vibes when
Shang-Chi
vibes. He shot like the yellow beam, and Kang took it and transferred it to the blue energy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And shot
I
it
did
right
give
back.
Shang-Chi vibes. Yeah.
Okay, I see that.
And you have the 10 rings that are around his dome. Like,
Well, hold on a second.
there's a lot.
I mean, it's plausible. I could see that being 10 rings related. I think it's a stretch. I think it's a bit of a stretch, but I
can see
it can get there. It can get there.
I can honestly see like later on in one of the other movies them saying like, who do you think is the one who placed the 10 rings in Earth?
Hold on, let's finish this movie, then we get into the bigger picture. We'll come back to this idea. The last bit before I guess the real ending of the movie, we get one final bout. We get Jonathan Majors' character as from Creed coming in to rock the shit out of Scott. He wasn't even Kang at that point. He said, "This is the Creed franchise." And
this was great.
This was great. I felt every hit. I was like, God damn, Scott.
I kind of wish it was longer.
Is that like this just shows that like even outside of his suit, he can still whoop ass.
Scott or Kang?
Kang. Well,
okay.
What? Scott? Who?
Hey, Scott was eating some of those hits though. Okay.
Yeah.
I give Scott his props, but goodness gracious, Jonathan Majors he had some fury in him.
Right.
He just wants to get out, man. Get out. Get out.
Oh yeah. I think part of him wanted to like really like beat the crap out of Scott, because there were times where he could have just like knocked Scott on his ass, and if he really wanted to leave, mad dash for the portal. But no, there were times he's stomping on Scott and ground pound. This was nice. I like seeing this side, because you know what's funny, you don't really get like post Captain America, you don't really get like a lot of hand-to-hand combat like this. Right. You get martial arts and things like Shang-Chi, but like usually there's like powers or stuff involved. This was just straight like fist
brutality.
Straight brutality. They did this on purpose. They ripped off like one of Kang's like I guess arm pieces all the way to his shoulder. They wanted to show you the iron in that arm. That thing, Jesus.
They said,
I don't know how Scott's getting back up from this. I don't know.
They said, let that boy flex. Let them see that Kang have been working out in his time in the quantum realm. All right. Let us feel those hits. We're gonna feel them, you're gonna scream, and we're gonna show off the muscles to really hammer it in that Scott is getting wrecked right now. And Scott did get wrecked. Again, we thought he broke his arm at one point.
I thought he did, yeah. God, Marvel.
Maybe it was a dislocation. I don't know.
It was more like an arm lock, because I saw the way his arm was like when he had him there, and it's like, oh, I thought you broke his arm. You just kind of have him locked in.
I mean, okay, I think it would have really been better if his arm did break, because it's like, Scott, if you want to keep calling yourself an Avenger, this is the job.
This is it. Yeah.
This is it.
That's hero work.
And you're the only one here. You know?
Right. Oh man, I get it's called Ant-Man and the Wasp. I kind of just wanted this to be a Scott fight. I really wanted him to just pull all the stops to finally stop Kang from going in. It was nice to see, Hope come in and also help as well. But I feel like this moment was really Scott's fight to really show like, this is what being a hero is. This is what your daughter is looking up to you as. It's time to fight. Tatakai.
Oh, you know what would have been perfect? This was giving mad Tony versus
I could do this all day.
I could do this all day. That's what it was giving.
Yes.
That's what it was giving.
Every
yes.
time he got back up. Yes.
And he called him a bully too. He's like, Kang is a bully. You know, he's gonna go around and Steve's big thing was to stand up to bullies,
Right.
I would have loved if Scott would have, again, we don't ever really get a lot of this personalization between the Avengers to where if Scott really looked up to Captain America, why can't he give us some things he learned from
like
Captain
maybe he
America?
quotes him.
Yeah, just like I could do this all day. Like,
I think the theater would have roared if he said that.
I don't want to sit here and be like what they should have done, but if Scott broke out into I can do this all day.
Oh my god.
No,
Not the
no,
musical
no.
from Hawkeye.
Yes.
No.
I'm just
Oh my
saying.
god.
But yes.
I think they needed to have the Wasp though come in and show up because that was the whole thing about what was the first or second movie. Like, if you would have asked me to join the Avengers or like to join and fight with you, I would have. So like, she's there to like basically be part of like the team. She doesn't
She
want
ain't
to be
gonna ask.
She's just gonna be there and do it. I'm not gonna lie though, when that portal closed, I thought, all right, that's it. We're gonna go and we're gonna end the movie with them in that realm.
I would have actually liked that.
I would have liked that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But nope, gotta have a happy ending.
And
I
it
thought
wasn't
they were
even
gonna-
hard.
Yeah, she just like plugged back in
Hold on a second.
the cord. Doo-doo.
I thought
Easy.
the machine broke when they first got there.
I
When they
thought
first
it
got
did
sucked
too.
in.
I
Yeah.
thought Hope broke the machine when she was like, "No, turn that shit off." What the hell?
Yeah, like when they
Um,
saw when Hope, not Hope. Hope. When Hope
Is it-
and
no.
and Scott were like holding each other and looking out over like the people that they saved, I thought it was like a sign of let's like I don't know, lead them or
Yeah,
something.
like
This is
Like,
our life for a
this
bit.
is our life. Yeah.
this is their life.
And then
so
boop,
I was
Portal opens behind
I
them.
was totally fine with that. Like, hey, like maybe in the next movie, like we need somebody who fought Kang, like come and join us. We need to get somebody to come and get our parents or whoever. And they get Doctor Strange to help because it's a different dimension and he's able to get it. Who knows? Like I was able to go on that journey, but then they're like, all right, let's just go home. I'm like
Psych.
willy
It's
nilly.
open.
Yeah.
No problem. Hope's. I mean, what's her name? Cassie's got it. Remember, Cassie's a genius. She built this
Cassie's a
machine.
genius. She's always
only
been a
been work-
genius.
She's only been working on quantum tech for like a couple of years. She's Hank level genius.
Things that
Sure.
these people devote their lives to, decades to learn about. No,
It's also it was also like there's a little bit of that inconsistency where it's like he needs the power of the machine to like teleport him throughout like the different multiverses, and then the machine breaks and then Hope is able to fix it like right then and there to like get a
Oh, you mean when Janet fixes it?
or when Janet fixed it, sorry. Yeah,
Well,
I was
to be
what
fair,
the
she
fuck
spent
is
some
it?
time working on it before, when they were originally trying to fix it.
I guess.
I give her that. It very much though, it was like she fixed it like that. She knew exactly what was wrong.
Right then and there, and she was like, yep, boop boop beep bop, and then done.
So Kang gets sent, I guess, deeper into the quantum realm.
That's what
Uh,
happened, right? He's not
uh,
dead. That
not
Kang is
dead.
not dead.
That Kang is definitely not dead.
So he just got.
Um,
How deeper do you get into the quantum?
Or I mean,
There's no rules.
either he's deeper or he's in the core.
He's in the
his-
core. He has to be in the core where all the different
Okay.
possibilities are.
Sure. So, we get this wrap up. Scott starts
Okay.
questions everything as far as did we actually save the world? Is he actually gone? Who cares? It's time to celebrate Cassie's birthday. And it ends right there. No,
It ends right there. I
Yeah,
did
yeah.
not like this at
it was
all.
a weird ending.
Why? It was such a weird ending. Why did he eat the cake and go, oh, like as if, like,
Yeah,
he
he
ate
ate the
something
cake.
that's like a
Right.
quantum realm? Like I don't get it.
Like, I don't know if that was supposed to imply, like, oh, Kang's in the cake. Uh-oh. I don't know, like, just something to be like, because the whole thing was leading up to he's worrying about, did they really defeat Kang? What thing's going to be coming out after them? And you're just sitting there waiting for, okay, so he's going to be surprised by something. And then it's the cake. And it's like
weird. It was like 2 minutes. Like we went and he had like this whole long internal conflict of what's happening. And then like right after that, yep, let's go sit down. Let's have a birthday dinner. And then ate a piece of cake. And then that's it.
Like maybe that's the joke. Like I don't know. Like
I
didn't laugh from it. I didn't laugh. It was
maybe we'll pick up from there. Next time we see Ant-Man.
I don't know, but like it was so stale that like the entire audience was like,
yeah, there was
nobody clapped.
Yeah, there was no one in there that like laughed, like, oh, I get it. You see what they did there? No one.
It was so uncomfortably silent. I was like, all right, I guess we're gonna have to stay.
Our theater was packed, by the way. It wasn't just us. There was other people.
I think that's the quietest I've ever seen a Marvel movie end.
It was also the least packed I've ever seen a Marvel movie.
Well, we did standard viewing. I will say that. Maybe more people, tuned into IMAX or 4DX.
Also, it's an Ant-Man movie.
It is an Ant-Man movie. I do think people really came to see Kang, though. I really do.
I think they just see that title, Ant-Man. They're like, nope, not for me. That's not for me. It's a joke.
We have some Yonkos that believe that and that didn't want to come because of the title of it.
Criminy.
It is a shame. I don't think this movie. I think this movie was good. I still have fun. Let's get into these post credits. So, the first one, probably the biggest one. Definitely, it sets up what is supposed to be Phase 5, and
what was
6.
the first one again?
So the first one is we see the council.
Oh, okay.
The Council of Kangs, and
I remember
specifically speaking, these Kangs are specific Kangs. They are. Give me 1 second. They are Immortus, which is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
There's Ramatut.
Oh, is that I'm guessing that's the Egyptian one.
Correct. It's the Egyptian one.
Oh, what a guess.
And then we see Scarlet Centurion.
Okay. Typically, there's 4 in the council, but this time there's only 3.
Well, I think.
Oh, maybe
our boy,
that was the 4th one.
Yeah, he was the 4th one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right,
okay.
but he was too radical, so they had to get rid of him.
Which one, our boy?
This one.
Our main.
He's
Kang.
the 4th one.
Yeah.
Yes, he's the 4th.
I was thinking Loki's was the 4th one.
No. He's the one that kept all of them at bay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right. He's the one that kept everything at bay to not invite them to find that timeline.
Right.
Or multiverse, whatever you want to call it.
It also reminds me of the TVA with like the 3. So maybe there is a power in 3.
I mean, it was 4 originally. This one got the boot.
4?
Yeah, this one got the boot.
Okay.
The one we dealt with all movie. He got the boot from the council. Because there's no way these Kangs give a damn about the hundreds of millions of Kangs that they have recruited from every other multiverse. This is truly the Kang dynasty. And what did they say? They're gonna what? I don't even know what their plan is. What did they say? Did you catch what they said?
I don't. They said something along the lines of whatever they said. They started recruit. That's when you saw all the Kangs coming in from like the different dimensions. A lot of them were really excited for some reason.
They're over here like acting like sports fans.
Yeah,
yeah, we're in here, baby. We're Kangs.
So that was funny. But yeah, they're in it to do something. I honestly,
I guess conquer.
Don't know. I'm looking on the wiki page. It just says, they're commentating on the death of one of their own, and they plan their multiversal uprising. So they're gonna take over the multiverse, I guess.
I guess.
Sure.
They're coming.
But it was still exciting. I when was the last time you were like like losing yourself.
Oh, this
when
did
seeing
it.
a post-credit scene in Marvel. It's been a while. It's been a while.
Right.
You can't.
Like pure excitement.
Like pure excitement where you see the post-credit scene and you're like, ooh, what's that? The one that could have done this was Eternals.
Eternals. I was gonna say
it could have done it, but they screwed it up because you had to Google it and look it up afterwards to find out who it was that spoke off screen to Black Knight. I forgot the actor's name.
Kit Harington.
Jon
Snow.
Jon
Right.
Snow.
Okay,
that could have been it. That could have been one. But it wasn't. If you go back through all of Phase 4, not a single post-credit scene.
I'll give you one.
What?
And it barely. I mean, this one is still top tier. This is the peak.
Phase 4.
Oh, I mean, granted, we're in Phase 5. I really enjoyed the Jake Lockley Moon Knight post-credit scene.
I meant movies.
Sorry, I didn't know.
I like Jake Lockley. I like the Jake Lockley one, but like, for films.
Fine for film. As far as your theatrical experience,
that's why I said Eternals. That's why I mentioned Eternals.
Yeah, no, none come to mind.
This was it for me. This
was
I'm like,
fantastic.
wow.
This
what's gonna happen here?
It gets you excited to see what's gonna happen for the rest of the phases. Like everything else in Phase 4 was so disjointed from each other. Like this is now like, okay, I'm getting hyped. Let's see what else is gonna happen, especially with the second post-credit scene. But we'll talk about that one later.
No. Let's talk about the second one now before we get into bigger picture. Because we were expecting a joke. We were all expecting a gag.
We were expecting Luis to do a recap of everything that just happened.
Honestly, they could have. There's,
what? They might be building something, maybe like a Luis.
Don't
Disney
say a Disney
show.
Plus. No.
I'm so serious. I'm telling you,
no.
they did not just get rid of Luis off screen. He'll be back.
I think
he will be back.
He'll be back, just like Jimmy Woo. Like they'll bring him back into like some other stuff.
Well, yeah, Jimmy Woo's already scheduled to appear in something else. Sorry, Red, I can't remember though. But no, this was not a gag here. We get what I imagine is part of an episode of Loki season 2, confirming Jonathan Majors is very much involved in Loki season 2, because we see another variant of Kang. Looks like a charlatan of a scientist with the name of Victor Timely.
Right.
Which I think that's the first version of Kang that, because of his experiment, he was able to go into the future and find different versions of himself, higher technology.
I think the first one is the Ramatut one, the Egyptian one. I think that's the first version.
Oh, like timeline wise, like
you should ask Dr. Mondo. I think he knows a lot about Kang.
I think this. I'm pretty sure this is the first one that like did the experiment, fell into the future, got better technology, and started planting Kangs throughout the timeline.
Well, I looked it up. Ramatut is the first. He's the original Kang.
He is the original one?
Ramatut is the original.
Okay.
Stunning.
Yes. This got me still excited too, though.
Yeah, it does. It's really gonna show Jonathan Majors' range, like as an actor, because like I imagine all these different Kangs that are gonna get screen time, he's gonna have to portray them each differently enough so that you could tell, okay, these are different characters, but they still kind of feel the same because they technically are. So I can't wait. I can't.
I believe
wait.
it, and I'm excited for it.
Really?
Shoot, I'm even excited for Loki season 2, and I did not even care for Loki that much. So cool. Bring on Loki season 2, because Loki kind of got the fear in the eyes that we all have, kind of with this guy as far as what he might do to the bigger picture of things. Loki's like, that's the one, that's him. Don't and like, oh wow, he doesn't look so bad.
Ka-chow. Wow.
My name's Mobius. Wow.
Which this is interesting because when we left off on season 2 of Loki, Mobius didn't know who he was. Mobius was very much out of the picture of everything.
Right.
Sounds like he's almost back up to speed.
Right.
Yep.
we'll see what happens in Loki season 2.
which may not even drop in 2023 anymore.
No,
they-
it is.
They confirmed. They
Oh,
said
was it? Oh, it's Loki and Secret Invasion.
Secret Invasion and Loki are the only ones dropping in
Right.
2020.
All right, they
I'm
better
okay
sell
with
us.
this. Ooh.
And we dropped what? Echo and
There was one other show with Echo.
Oh, Ironheart.
Ironheart.
It would have been
Ironheart.
Ironheart.
Right.
Oh, I guess also No What If
I
season
was gonna
2
say
as well.
What If 2 was supposed to also come out in 2023.
Oh God, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
we were supposed to
fine.
get Spider-Man Homecoming, but that one also dropped. Or not
That
Homecoming.
one I feel is very up in the air right now.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen much movement from that one, so I'm very worried about
That's the
that.
freshman year one, right?
The freshman year, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll see if that one, even happens. But confirmed, we should be getting Jonathan Majors at least once more this year. If he
Right.
appears in the Marvels,
I
or
was about to say, I think he's going to make at least one more appearance in the Marvels, like at least the Marvels.
Guardians,
Guardians, I feel like it's gonna be like a send off for the characters. I don't
Uh-huh.
see them like really building up to Jonathan Majors, here he is again. I see that in the Marvels though. I see it in the Marvels. But
Fair
I mean, they
point.
might in Guardians. You never know. Just no idea.
very fair point. I mean, again, they might just leave him for the another post credit scene with him, just
Could be
planting seeds
right.
and whatnot. We shall see. Shall we close this off with our final thoughts on Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania? I felt there was a lot of Quantumania for sure.
Quantumania.
I mean, literally the whole film is pretty much spent in the quantum realm. Kang did a bang up job on his first real outing in the MCU. Again, I had a lot of fun with Scott and the gang. It was not a perfect ride. I will say that. I think we picked it apart enough to where we can pinpoint what did not work about this film. But overall, I really think, comparing it to Phase 4 films, I really enjoyed this film. Dare I say, I let this be kind of the standard moving forward in the MCU.
As in like standard in what way? Like
Standard as far as, like I haven't been like, oh yeah, I enjoyed this Marvel film in a while.
Oh, okay.
Like thoroughly enjoyed it to where like my enjoyment, I had more enjoyment than I had anything negative to say about this film.
I see. Not for me, but I understand for you, right? I could see that being a thing. But I mean, continue. Were you gonna give?
Oh,
like,
that's I mean, letter grade.
You go by letter grades usually, right? You go by letter grades.
No, I could do numbers too. It's very much a B. I feel it's like a B plus for me, and honestly, that plus comes from Jonathan. Dare I say?
Okay.
1 to 10 rating. It's like an 8.7.
Okay.
And I think that's very fair. I don't think it's a 9. But I really did enjoy this film. I think this film knew what it wanted to be. It wanted to be comedic. It wanted to have these family elements. And it also wanted to ring your clock with Kang the Conqueror. And I think it did that.
Okay. I'm gonna give it some tough love. I'm giving it a 6.
Whoa, Jesus!
and let me tell you something right here. That 6 is me being generous because of Jonathan Majors. You take out Jonathan Majors from this movie, I think it's in the 4 to 5 with Eternals.
Whoa, no!
I'm telling you, I don't like how the film felt like it was like content was cut out, so it felt very disjointed at times. I didn't like how Janet is being used as a device to build tension. And so she has literally, once she reveals what her past is with Kang, she becomes irrelevant like after that point. She serves no purpose in the plot whatsoever. And I think that's why they had her character be so secretive up until the point that she reveals it, because the entire time until she speaks, you're like, what's this mystery about Janet? What's going on with Kang, the Conqueror? Had she just opened her mouth like within the first 5 minutes, that's it for Janet. She has nothing else to offer in the movie. That's why they had her keep it a secret that entire time. So I don't like that. I don't like how Hope is just she's just there in the movie. The film was called Ant-Man and the Wasp. I felt like they felt obligated because they called the last one, Ant-Man and the Wasp. So they're like, oh no, we have to show consistency. And she's here technically, but she has no purpose in the film. She's just there. The funniest part she's probably in is when Darren, he's like, Hope, you've changed your hair.
Oh God.
That was funny.
It was funny.
So I didn't like that. I didn't like how there were moments where I'm like, Scott, just fight these people. Like, you know, he's not using his powers to fight back against people that are probably threatening him, and they're just holding him down. I don't know. That whole sequence in the beginning, very weird. I didn't like that. Bill Murray, again, waste of time.
Are you just going down the list of the
I'm just going. I want to explain my 6, so it's not like you were just praising Jonathan Majors. A 6? Let me tell you why it's a 6 and not a 4 or a 3, like what Rotten Tomatoes has it at right now. But yeah, just everything that we talked about in terms of like it being a negative, that was my major problem with the movie. There were positives with it. I thought MODOK was funny, but it came at the expense of now he's just going to be a gag if he ever comes back again. I do not see this version of MODOK like leading something like leading villains or leading an evil entity behind the scenes. He is a gag. It's a funny gag. It's very funny, but at what cost? At what cost?
At what cost?
So I liked MODOK for better or worse. And Cassie, again, it's nothing against the actress in the movie. I felt like they did not give her good content to work with. She is just screaming dad the entire film. Dad! 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 I just not for me. Not for me. I wish they did a little more with that. Kang was the best part. Kang was the best part. I'm excited for the MCU. When was the last time I could confidently say that? Like I've liked Moon Knight, but that wasn't really like, oh, I can't wait for the MCU with Moon Knight. It was more like I really loved Moon Knight, and that's it. Like Moon Knight isolated by itself. I love Moon Knight. This is the first film in a long time, a Quantumania, to get me excited for, man, what does Phase 5 have to offer? So Jonathan Majors, a major performance on his end. Fantastic. Sure. I love the fisticuff fight at the end. I wish it was even longer than what it was, because it was brutal. It was neat to see. The man has range. This is the next big bad, and I believe it. This is the next Thanos. This is the next Endgame, and I am excited for Marvel moving forward with this man. That is it for Ant-Man. It's out of 6. It's out of 6. If I want to be generous, 7 max. That is it. It's better than Ant-Man and Wasp. It's better than Ant-Man and Wasp.
Look, I could do you solid. I'll drop that 8.7 to an 8. How's that?
8 max?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can have fun with the movie. Like there are pockets of fun where if you really are just kind of it's okay. That's okay. I'm okay with that. You can give this movie an 8. Jonathan Majors did. I guarantee you that 8 you're giving is coming from Jonathan Majors.
It's not.
Like,
again, when I compare it to recent outings with Marvel, I think it is a well put together film. As far as it's very much everything that happens in this film is about what's going on in this film. There's no other this faction of the Marvel universe, these big characters introduced to set up, for example, like Ironheart. There is no that, there is no drastic droppings of plot elements like Gore the God Butcher, where we don't get
there was
any.
That was good because it never felt like they didn't utilize Jonathan Majors in this movie. They used him.
Yes,
perfect. You have to. He is the title character in one of the future Avengers movie. You better set him up for his first major appearance.
Right.
And they did it here, I feel like.
So that's why I call this a well put together film. Again, talking cohesively how it moves. Not everything works in the film, but I think from beginning to end is a better outing than a lot of recent Marvel films.
I can buy that. Yeah. I feel like between a 6 to an 8 is probably the range I feel like most people would give it for the most part. Some people may say 10. I question that sanity.
I'm not at a 10, but had fun.
I did have fun with Majors. That's who I had fun with. Showed off a little bit of Creed 3 in this movie, so
sure did. I can't wait to see him in Creed.
I may have to go watch the movies now so I could catch up. But yeah, that's a great performance. Can't say it's what I want for the future of Marvel, but for the villain portion, yes.
It's a step in the right direction. Compared to recent outings. So let's get it together, Marvel. Let's kind of get back on track. We got 2 shows coming out this year. Loki season 2 and Secret Invasion. We got 2 more films. The Marvels and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I think that is enough to, whet your palate and give you a taste of what's more to come in Phase 5. I think this is a nice introduction to Phase 5. I could even tell you the introduction to Phase 4 because I don't remember.
What was the first movie?
WandaVision was the first introduction to Phase 4.
If you want to be actually
Black Widow?
Black Widow intended to be the first, but COVID happened. And then WandaVision ended up being the first instead.
Okay.
And then
WandaVision was a good start. I think we're off to a good start here. And again, this is rare. It's rare to lead with your endgame villain as your lead villain at the top of the phase. Yeah. So this is new territory, and we're going to be seeing him a lot more moving forward. So folks,
I was gonna say, do you think this is reactionary to how Phase 4 was received in any way?
No, I think their plan was always to utilize Jonathan Majors throughout the rest of their film schedule.
Oh no, I mean like in terms of calling this Phase 5 and then having it be like the first introduction of like this is the next big bad, like here we go. I
mean, we've talked about this before on previous pods. I think we talked about this at the San Diego Comic-Con pod when they announced that Phase 5 and Black Panther would close out Phase 4. It is one part reactionary to the lukewarm reception of Phase 4, no doubt, but also it just makes sense. It's a different direction. Never have we had a film be the catalyst for the introduction of the big bad like this. They're changing up the formula some. Thanos, we got him at the end of a phase, and then we got him twice in the second phase, and then we only get him in 2 films in the third phase. So
he was kind of like a background character building up his presence slowly throughout the films.
Right. We're going to see Jonathan Majors and his Kang take the forefront as far as building up this big bad. Not in the background. He's in the foreground. I like that.
Right. Yeah. I like that too.
Right. So yes, keep switching up the formula. Again, try new things. I don't care if they don't work. At least you're trying new things. I mean, I care if they don't work, but I rather you try and fail versus same old, same old.
Right.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see what else they got in store. I don't know. I think we get Guardians next. So
May 5th.
May 5th. And yeah, I think it's before any of those series drop. So we'll be done. We should be done by summer. If both series drop before then too. So we shall see. We shall see. But folks, that is it from us here at the Yonko table, talking Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, aka Time is of the Essence, Kang the Conqueror's film.
Did you like how at the end the title, that cool little thing with Quantumania showed Ant-Man? I thought, wow, no trailer did that, but the end title sequence did. Fine.
I applaud them for that. That was really cool. I did not see it coming. I was like, oh, it's Quantumanium. You can't spell Quantumanium without Ant-Man. Very nice.
Nice. I like that.
Very nice touch. But listen, folks, if you'd like to hear more of our Marvel deep dives, go check out some of our earlier work. We covered all entries in Phase 4 minus about one. Stay tuned for our Phase 4 ranking coming out soon. And also keep in touch for more of our outings with Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But again, thank you for listening on your various podcast stations. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. Be sure to check us out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We popping off on TikTok. Dr. Jason's also on YouTube and Twitch, where you can also watch our lovely faces playing games, creating more content for y'all. So check us out there. And again, thank you for all your support. And if you'd like to join some of the discourse you hear on here, be sure to follow us and join our Discord in the link below. Without further ado, I'm your host, Grandmaster Hoop, fellow Yonko, Dr. Jason Turney, and left a little while ago, but Supernova Darce showed up. Thank you. Shout out to him. But folks, we will catch you on the next time. Shall we close out with our quotes from the movie?
Time is a collection.
Time is of the essence, Scott. Time waits for nobody.
Time's up, Scott. Do.
Scott, the clock's ticking.
It's not gonna be his shtick. Just time puns.
He's gonna say all this time. Very much Mr. Freeze. Nice to meet you.
Oh, Batman and Robin, Mr.
Yes, yes, that
oh,
version.
please. There's a variant out there that will do that.
I would love it. I'm here for it. All right, y'all take care, folks.